I'm gonna start recording like this. That's the beat. Performing in the subways, the hardest part about it is finding a spot. But once you find that good location, and if it's at a good prime time, then you could actually make a lot of money. I can make $200, $300, $400 in a couple hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours. On a good day, it would be like $300, $350. On a bad day, $150. I like to perform in Union Square just simply because there's a lot of traffic here. Like everybody comes here. There's a lot of tourists. I kind of like it when it's busy and people are like, it's crowded and there's a lot of people and people are in a rush. So whenever I perform, I have a particular song in mind, and then I'll break down the song into each individual sound. I will record my bass line first, and then I add some harmonies on top of that, and eventually the beat, and then finally when that's all together, I add the rapping on top, and it sounds like a cohesive piece.
Look even better than the photos. I only call you when it's past. Find the only time that I'll be by your side. I only love it when you touch me, not feel me when I'm caught up. That's the real me when I'm caught up. That's the real me, yeah.
This is my job. I do the beatboxing thing underground, and also I do gigs above ground. And so I'm just trying to make it work, you know, doing the thing I love the most, which is music.
Sung Beats is a professional beatboxer. Here he is in 2014 at Harlem's historic Apollo Theater. He's a 4-time amateur night champ and a fixture in New York's subway system. So how does an underground performer get by in one of the most expensive cities in the world?
This is what I bring to the subways to perform. Here's my beloved loop station. This is the device I use to sample my voice. I got a little sign that explains what I do. And then this is the stand, an inverter which connects to the battery, which gives me outlets, headphones. These are Shure SM58s, very basic vocal mics. Can't forget the water, a stand which will hold my speakers. I'm gonna take it out. Ooh. So I headed down there and I realized that all the spots were taken by other performers. So we're gonna try to move on to another spot, maybe Times Square. There's so many other performers and they're all getting there really early. We'll take the L and then the... So if you want to get that spot, it's a good idea to get there ahead, maybe like 2 or 3 hours ahead so that you can actually secure it. I always take the elevator. Before there was a bucket drummer there, so I thought the spot was taken, but he's gone now, so maybe I'm just gonna perform there. Oh no. She's setting up? I think I'm just gonna let her stay and we'll move.
Wait, what just happened?
Well, I was walking over to perform there, but some homeless lady decided to take that spot. So good for her. I'm not gonna bother her. Just move to another stop, no problem. The last time I had a real job was in 2013. I worked a 9-to-5, and all I could think about was I want to beatbox. And eventually I quit that job, and I've been pursuing it ever since. So now we're on the L train back to 8th Avenue. We're gonna take the A up to Times Square. Hopefully there'll be a spot there. When I first started performing in the subways, I made like, I don't know, it wasn't much, it was like $40. But I did know that there are other people doing it, and I definitely had confidence in my abilities, and I just knew if I worked at it a little bit and like figured out ways to generate more tip, eventually it'll come to me, and it did. I need a new one, it's all ripped up.
Sung faces tough choices when deciding how to budget. Sometimes it's as simple as choosing between buying lunch or spending that $15 to replace a broken mic cable.
You know, I think the reason why the cables always break is because I always step on them. We're good to go.
His monthly expenses total more than $2,200, so he supplements his income with any other gigs he can book. On his best days, Sung can make $500 from both underground and above ground performances.
If I had to choose one, I'd say I like performing above ground better because you don't have to like fight for a spot all the time. You don't have to go through that hassle. And also you don't have to perform for like 3 or 4 hours straight, and that's very taxing on my voice.
This guy we're about to bring to the stage won the Apollo Theater Amateur Night. He got the big ass check, that's all you gotta know.
How do your parents feel about you taking this path instead of having a conventional job?
Initially, they're very concerned. They wanted me to become, doctor, lawyer, engineer. My parents, I'd say compared to other Korean American parents, are not as strict. And I was also the last one born, so I had a little bit less pressure than my older siblings did. I started to, get some momentum going in my career, started getting some success. And it's funny how quickly they change once that happens. Doing the music thing, you go into it, knowing that you're gonna make some sacrifices, and maybe stability is one of the things. But at the end of the day, I'm really passionate about it, and if that's a sacrifice I have to make, then so be it.
I heard someone beatboxing, I heard Sung's voice, and it sounded really familiar because I've heard him perform before.
It's amazing. He's a one-man band, and he's great.
He banded everybody.
Making it all on his own vocal parts. It's amazing, especially the bass line. It's awesome.
Now this.